The antiseptic hospital air burned Elena Carter's lungs as she held her father's limp hand. Judge Nathaniel Carter lay motionless, machines breathing for him, his face pale as death itself. The explosion on the courthouse steps had stolen everything: his voice, his strength, his future, and now, time was stealing him too. $8 million. Elena whispered the number to the empty room. Switzerland. Experimental treatment. The only chance? The impossible chance. The door opened without warning. Damon Wolf stepped inside like he owned the hospital. It's the city, the very air. His charcoal suit was perfect. His steel gray eyes were colder. Elena Carter. Gut. His voice was smooth, controlled. I have a proposition. She stood, anger flashing. Get out. Your father needs treatment you can't afford. He moved closer, calculated. I'll pay for everything. Every cent. Her heart stopped. Why? Marry me. The words hung between them like shattered glass. A contract marriage. 1 year. You play the role of Mrs. Wolf at my business functions. In return, your father lives. His expression never changed. It's efficient. Lena's breath caught. This man, this stranger with eyes like winter, was offering her father's life. The price was her freedom. You're insane. I'm practical. He placed a business card on the bedside table. 24 hours, Miss Carter. Then the offer expires. He turned to leave. Why me? Her voice cracked. Damon paused at the door, not looking back. Because you're smart enough to say yes, and desperate enough to mean it. The door closed. Elena stared at her father's face, at the machines keeping him alive. Behind her eyes, she saw the explosion again, felt the heat, heard the screams. She picked up the card. 1 year of her life for all of his? There was no choice at all. Sterling. Tower pierced the sky like a blade. Elena stood in the marble lobby, her reflection fractured in 1,000 glass surfaces. She didn't recognize the woman staring back. Miss Carter. Follow me. The assistant's heels clicked like gunshots. No warmth, no greeting, just efficiency. The conference room was ice and steel. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the city below, ant-sized people living ant-sized lives. Real lives. The view is one of the building's greatest features. Lena turned. Damon stood in the doorway, perfect and untouchable. I prefer what's beyond the view, she said. Real people? Real lives. Something flickered in his eyes. Then it was gone. The contract. He gestured to the thick stack of papers on the table. My lawyers insured every detail. Lena pulled out her phone instead of reaching for the pen. I brought my own lawyer. She dialed. Elena, tell me you're not actually doing this. Mia Rodriguez's voice cut through the speaker. The Ice King is in the room, Elena said flatly. A pause. Then, Mr. Corporate Overlord, if you hurt my girl, I know 17 ways to make death look natural. I watched true crime. Damon's jaw tightened. Almost imperceptibly, Mia graduated top of her class, Elena continued. Works at the public defender's office. Unlike some people, she has a soul. Amendments incoming, Mia announced. Check your email, Ice King. Damon's phone buzzed. His expression darkened as he read. Separate bedrooms. He looked up, cold fire in his eyes. Personal allowance? Access to all financial records? I'm not your property. Elena stepped closer. I'm your wife, temporarily. That means I have rights. This is a business arrangement. Then let's arrange it properly. The air between them crackled. Damon's fingers drummed once against the table. Then he pulled out a pen. Fine, sign. Elena read every line, every clause, every escape route. Then she signed. Her hand shook only once. 3 days later, they stood in a courthouse office. No guests, no flowers. No love. Do you take this woman? Damon's voice was empty. I do. Do you take this man? Elena looked at the stranger beside her. At the ring on her finger that cost more than most people's homes. At the future she'd sold. I do. You may kiss the bride. Right. Damon turned to her. His hand cupped her jaw, cold fingers against warm skin. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. The kiss was brief, clinical, a stamp on a contract. But when he pulled back, his eyes held something new, something dangerous. "Welcome to the family, Mrs. Wolf." That night, Elena stood in the master suite of his penthouse. Her penthouse now. Glass walls showed the city blazing with light. The bedroom was massive, impersonal, perfect. A door connected to an adjoining suite, Damon's room. She heard him moving on the other side. Heard the shower start. Heard the water stop. The connecting door opened. He stood there in a black t-shirt and sleep pants, looking almost human, almost vulnerable. "Ground rules," he said. "No one knows this is fake. Not press. Not friends. Not family. I don't lie to people I care about. Then learn." His voice hardened. "My world eats weakness. If they think this marriage is fake, they'll destroy you to get to me. Why would anyone want to destroy you?" His laugh was bitter. "Because I destroyed them first." He started to close the door. "Damon," her voice stopped him. "Why do you really need a wife?" For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, "Because my father's will requires it. No wife, no inheritance. No inheritance, no company. So you'd lose everything." "I'd lose the only thing that matters." His eyes were hollow. "Power is all I have left, Elena. It's all I've ever had." The door clicked shut. Elena sank onto the bed, her wedding ring heavy as chains. What had she married? And why did part of her want to find out? Elena woke to sunlight slicing through glass walls and an empty penthouse. A note sat on the kitchen counter in sharp, precise handwriting. "Charity gala tonight. 7 p.m. Dress is in your closet. Wear it, not a request. A command." She crumpled the note. That evening, she found the dress. Midnight blue designer, probably cost more than her old apartment. She'd put it on because she'd signed a contract. Because her father was flying to Switzerland tomorrow. Because she'd made a deal with the devil and devils always. Collect Damon appeared at 6:55, perfectly punctual. His tuxedo was flawless. His expression was carved from ice. But when he saw her, something shifted. "You look acceptable," he said. "You look like you'd rather be anywhere else." "Accurate." He offered his arm. "Let's go perform." The gala was a parade of wealth. Crystal chandeliers. Champagne towers. People who smiled with their mouths but calculated. With their eyes, Elena played her part, smiled, laughed, let Damon's hand rest on the small of her back like they'd done this 1,000 times. "You're good at this," he murmured between conversations. "I'm a judge's daughter. I grew up watching people lie politely." His lips almost twitched. Almost. Then she saw him. Senator Morrison. The man whose corruption trial her father had been overseeing. The man whose associates had likely planted that bomb. "I need air," Elena whispered. She escaped to the balcony, hands gripping the railing. The city stretched endlessly below. Somewhere down there, her father was fighting to breathe. And somewhere in this room, his would-be killer was drinking champagne. Mrs. Wolf. She spun. Senator Morrison stood behind her, smile oily and sharp. "I was sorry to hear about your father. Such a tragic accident." "It wasn't an accident." Careful with accusations. His eyes went cold. "They can be dangerous." Damon appeared like a storm. "Is there a problem?" Morrison's smile never wavered. "Just expressing condolences." "Your wife is quite passionate." "My wife," Damon said softly, dangerously, "is none of your concern." The two men stared at each other. Power meeting power. Morrison backed away first. "Enjoy your evening." When he was gone, Elena's hands were shaking. "He did it," she whispered. "He killed my father. Or had him killed. I know." She looked at Damon sharply. "You know? I've known since the day I walked into that hospital room." His voice was flat. "Morrison has been trying to acquire a patent my company owns. Your father's trial was threatening his political future. He needed both problems solved. You knew and you didn't tell me? What would you have done? Gone to the police with suspicions and no proof? Damon's jaw tightened. Morrison is connected, powerful, untouchable. Nothing is untouchable, Elena. He caught her wrist, his grip firm but not painful. Don't do something reckless. Why do you care? The question hung between them. "'Cause you're my wife," he said finally. "And I protect what's mine." Back at the penthouse, Elena couldn't sleep. She paced. Thought, planned. The connecting door opened. Damon stood there, tie gone, shirt unbuttoned. He looked tired, human. "You're plotting something," he said. "I can see it. What if I am?" He crossed the room, stopping close enough that she could smell his cologne. Cedar and frost? "Then I'm going to help you." Her breath caught. "Why?" "Because Morrison doesn't just want to hurt you." Damon's voice dropped. "He wants to destroy me. He tried to tank my company's stock last year. Failed. This is personal for both of us now, so we're allies. We're married." His hand lifted, fingers brushing her cheek. "That's supposed to mean something, even in a contract." The touch sent electricity down her spine. "Damon." Her voice was barely a whisper. "What are we doing?" "Something incredibly stupid," he murmured. Then he kissed her, not clinical. Not contractual? Raw? Hungry? Real. Elena's hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer. His arm wrapped around her waist, crushing her against him. The kiss deepened, desperate and fierce, and nothing like their wedding. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Damon's eyes were dark with something dangerous. "This wasn't part of the deal," he said. "No, it wasn't. We should stop. We should." Neither of them moved. Then his phone rang, shrill, insistent. Damon answered, his expression shuddering. "What?" He listened. His face went pale. "When?" Another pause. "I'm on my way," he hung up. "What's wrong?" Elena asked. Damon looked at her, and for the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. "The hospital in Switzerland. Your father," his voice cracked, just barely. "There's been a complication. They don't know if he'll make it through the night." The world tilted. "No." Elena's voice broke. "No, this can't be happening. You promised. You said he'd be okay. I'm sorry." She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The walls were closing in. "I need to go. I need to see him. I'll arrange the jet. We leave in an hour." She grabbed his arm. "Why are you doing this? Really?" Damon's mask cracked completely. "Because I know what it's like to lose a father and do nothing. I won't let you live with that." In that moment, Elena saw past the ice. Saw the broken boy beneath the ruthless man, and she realized the most. Dangerous thing of all, she was starting to care. The Swiss hospital was all white walls and hushed voices. Elena sat beside her father's bed, his hand warm in hers. Alive. Against all odds. Alive. The surgery was successful, the doctor had said in perfect English. "He'll need months of recovery, but he'll live." Elena had collapsed into a chair and wept. Damon stood by the window now, phone pressed to his ear, arguing in clipped tones. Even here, business never stopped. Power never rested. When he hung up, Elena spoke. "Thank you," he turned, surprise flickering across his face. "For what?" "For keeping your word. For getting us here?" She swallowed. "For caring enough to try?" Damon crossed the room, kneeling beside her chair. His hand covered hers. "Your father is a good man. The world needs more of those. And what does the world need from you?" His laugh was hollow. "Nothing good." But his eyes said different. They stayed 3 days. Elena barely left her father's side. Damon brought her coffee and forced her to eat. At night, they shared a hotel suite with 2 bedrooms and a door that stayed open. On the 3rd night, Damon found her on the balcony, staring at the Swiss mountains, painted silver by moonlight. "You should sleep," he said. "So should you." He stood beside her, close enough to touch. "Elena, when we get back, things will be different." "Different how?" "Morrison knows we're here. He'll make his move." Damon. Jaw clenched. "I need you to trust me." Whatever happens next. It's asking a lot from a contract marriage. I know, he turned to her. But this stopped being just a contract the night I kissed you. Elena's heart hammered. Damon, he cupped her face. I'm falling for you. I didn't plan it. Didn't want it. But it's happening anyway. This is dangerous. Everything about us is dangerous. He kissed her under the stars, and Elena let herself fall into it. Into him. To the impossible thing growing between them. When they returned to the city, Elena felt different. Lighter. Like maybe this didn't have to end in a year. Like maybe they could be real. She was wrong. The penthouse was dark when they arrived. Damon's assistant waited in the living room, her face pale. Sir, we have a problem. Damon's expression hardened. Show me. She handed him a tablet. Elena watched his face drain of color. What is it? He didn't answer. Just handed her the screen. It was a contract. Between Damon and Senator Morrison, dated 6 months before her father's bombing, in exchange for removal of Judge Nathaniel Carter from the Morrison corruption case. Damon Wolf will receive exclusive rights to Morrison's pharmaceutical patents valued at $200 million. The words blurred. No, Elena's voice shook. This can't be real, Elena. Let me explain. You made a deal with him. She backed away. You made a deal with the man who tried to kill my father. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? She screamed the words, Tell me this is fake. Tell me you didn't conspire with a murderer. Damon's silence was answer enough. Elena's world shattered. The marriage. The hospital. All of it was so you could get those patents. No, I swear, by the time I met you, I'd already backed out of the deal. Liar. Tears streamed down her face. You used me. You used my father's life as leverage for your business deal. That's not true. Get out. Her voice broke. Get out of my sight, Elena, please. Get out. Damon stared at her, something dying in his eyes. Then he turned and left. Elena collapsed onto the floor, sobs tearing from her chest. She'd trusted him, fallen for him. And he'd betrayed her in the worst possible way. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Now you see who he really is. Damon Wolf destroys everything he touches. Your father was just business. So were you. Senator Morrison. Elena stared at the message, rage and heartbreak warring inside her. Then she made a decision. If Damon wanted to play games, she'd show him what a judge's daughter could do. She'd burn his empire to the ground, Elena. Spent 2 weeks building her case. Call records. Financial transfers. Meeting transcripts. She compiled everything on Damon Wolf's dealings with Morrison. And she found something else. Hidden in buried emails and encrypted files. She found the real story. Damon had made the deal with Morrison. But 3 weeks before the bombing, he'd sent a message, Deal is off. Keep your patents. Stay away from Judge Carter. Morrison's response was clear. You don't back out of agreements with me, Wolf. There will be consequences. The bombing happened 2 days later. Elena's hands shook as she read. Damon hadn't conspired to hurt her father. He'd tried to protect him. And Morrison had retaliated. The penthouse door opened. Damon stood there, looking hollowed out, broken. Hey. Came to sign the divorce papers, he said quietly. I know that's what you want. Should have told me the truth. You wouldn't listen. There's no anger in his voice. Just exhaustion. I don't blame you. I've done terrible things in my life, Elena. I've destroyed people, companies. I'm exactly the monster you think I am. But not to me. He looked up. Confused, Elena crossed the room, holding the files. I found the emails. I know you backed out. I know Morrison targeted my father because of you. Then you know it's my fault he almost died. No. She grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. Morrison made that choice. Not you. I should have protected him better. You protected me. Tears spilled down her cheeks. You gave me my father back. You gave me everything. I'm still the Ice King, still ruthless, still broken. I don't want perfect, Damon. She kissed him softly. I want real, and you're the most real thing I've ever had. His arms wrapped around her, crushing her close. I love you. God help me. I love you. Then help me finish this. Elena pulled back, fire in her eyes. Help me take Morrison down. Damon's expression shifted. The ruthless businessman returned. What do you need? A courtroom. A prosecutor. And every piece of evidence we can find? Done. They worked for weeks, building the case, finding witnesses. Mia joined them, brilliant and fierce. Together, they constructed an iron-tight prosecution. Senator Morrison was arrested on a Tuesday morning. The charges: conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, corruption, racketeering. The trial was swift, brutal, public, and when the verdict came back guilty on all counts, Elena felt something break loose inside her chest, just as her father watched from a wheelchair in the gallery, tears streaming down his face. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Damon held Elena close, shielding her from the cameras. Mrs. Wolf, what's next for you and your husband? Elena looked at Damon, at this complicated, damaged, beautiful man who'd given her everything. We're going to live, she said simply. 6 months later, Elena stood in the penthouse, packing boxes. Not to leave, to renovate. Are you sure about this? Damon asked, watching her. It's a lot of change. You married a judge's daughter, she smiled. We don't do things halfway. He pulled her close. No divorce? No divorce. She kissed him. You're stuck with me, Ice King. I can live with that. They donated Morrison's seized patents to medical research, established a foundation in her father's name, turned their contract into something real. The connecting door between their rooms had been removed entirely. They shared one bedroom now. One life. It wasn't perfect. Damon still woke with nightmares. Elena still had days where the explosion haunted her. They fought, made up, learned each other's scars, but they did it together. That evening, they stood on the balcony, watching the city light up like stars. Do you ever regret it? Damon asked. Saying yes that day in the hospital. Elena thought about it. About the contract, the betrayal, pain. The love not for a second. He kissed her temple. Good, because you're the best business deal I ever made. She laughed. Romantic. I'm working on it. Below them, the city breathed. People lived their real lives in their real ways. And somewhere in the middle of it all, two broken people had found a way to be whole, not through perfection, through truth. Elena leaned into Damon's warmth, his arms strong around her. I love you, she whispered. I love you more, he whispered back. And for the first time in both their lives, they believed it. The frozen heart had finally learned to thaw. The end.